2,000 years later, Earth is reborn. A strange new world rises from the old. A world of savagery, super science, and sorcery. But one man bursts his bonds to fight for justice. With his companions, Ookla the Mock and Princess Ariel. Fabulous sun's sword against the forces of evil. He is Thundarr, the Barbarian.
Welcome back to Retro Wednesday at the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the 2003 toy line for Thundarr the Barbarian from Toynami. And the thing is that I know a little bit about it, but not a lot. So I still have some questions. I make these videos to showcase the figures. I haven't seen anybody do all three in one video as a full-on review, but I've seen either separate reviews or just people kind of pulling them out of the box and just kind of showing what it is. But with this, we're going to get into this. I'm going to show you everything that I know about it, but I have one question that maybe someone out there can answer. How much were these in 2003 when they came out? So I'm surprised that I can't find that information anywhere, because these are not cheap anymore. I assume they were like 13 to 15 bucks back in 2003. They're 150 to 200 now. Let's take a look at these coming up. Let's talk about the show real quick. It was okay. I watched a couple of episodes, and I will say that it would have definitely benefited from the deregulation. One of the things that we saw with shows like this, like Tom and Jerry and all that, it really didn't have a toy line to support, so they kind of just did whatever they wanted. And there were a few good concepts, basically 2,000 years and 200 years, 2,000 years in the future, or something like that, that society crumbles and comes back with sorcery and swords and sorcery kind of stuff that's going on, but it's still Earth, you know. And I kind of get the feeling, well, all the stuff that's going on, all the magic, all that kind of stuff that happens and occurs, that this show ran so that He-Man could fly. And really, without Thundarr kind of showing what to do and what not to do, I think when the creators of He-Man looked at that and said, yeah, we definitely could do better. We don't want it to be on Earth. We do want it to be all fantasy. And I think that's what made it more magical and mystical, instead of throwing all these real-world Earth elements in there, like stuff like Statue of Liberty and a helicopter. I mean, it's interesting. You got to kind of take yourself into the mind of people in 1980 to 1981 that was making the show. But I still think that He-Man is a better show and benefited from this show being around. All right, so a quick comparison of what we had back in the 80s as toys. We had He-Man, we had John Blackstar. All of them had their swords, respectively. He had the Star Sword. He had his Castle Grayskull sword there. But he has the Sun Sword. We'll get into the Sun Sword and all that stuff. But there was no toy line made for this back in the day. 2003 was the earliest and the latest creation that was made. And the only thing out there. That's all we got going. But anyway, looking at it and seeing what could have been, what would they have done back in the day, I kind of feel like they would have gone closer to what Blackstar was. More like real human form. Less like Arnold Schwarzenegger that we had going on over here. Like literally Conan ripoff, kind of more of a beefed up Charlton Heston. That's what we have going on right here. Here's comparisons to some modern day He-Mans. And, you know, I'm sure people are going to disagree with me because the internet do what the internet do, but I still think the Super 7 / Mattel Club Grayskull He-Man is the best He-Man ever made to this date, and still can't be beat. But my whole point here isn't trying to trash 40th anniversary, which is not a horrible figure. It's just not better than what was already done. This fits in. Kind of fits in okay. It's a little on the short side. And yeah, compared, when we get into articulation, compared to what they were even doing in classics, this is 2003. That's like 2015 or 16 or something, 2018. This is very archaic in articulation. All right, let's have a look at this guy right here, and I think he does look pretty good. I like the whole cartoon look to him. So when you start looking at like his head and this nice shine to it, The way the paint's done, just every aspect of it, even down to kind of the, well, you see the pins, but it's really not bad for 2003. And a pretty solid figure overall, stands pretty well. As I'm moving this, he's going to wiggle and wobble a little bit. He's got the gold belt, gold bracelets on there, and his fuzzy boots. I mean, I think I did a pretty good job matching the cartoon as well as I could. It's not perfect. He's actually still a little bulkier than the cartoon. Not much, just a little, which I'm still okay with. He does come with basically 2 accessories. The one accessory that always seems to stand test times is this tooth necklace he's got, which I don't know the significance of it. And then he has the sun sword. So I don't know which I should do first, but I'm going to do the scary part first. Do the scary part first. This is the sword. Pull it straight out so you don't break the clear plastic. And then what happens is you can put this, whatever side's got the magnet, on his arm there. Now it doesn't actually, oh, you can see where the magnet is. And you can move that. So that is articulated. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I actually didn't notice the articulation in that part there at first. So that's really good right there. And that's the whole point, that he could store his hilt right there on. Yeah, that works. That works. And that's like a fun feature they put in, putting the magnet in, and yeah. So I'm going to take that off. I'm not going to do that feature ever again, and I'm probably never going to take this sword apart because it's scary that it could break. But we will set it apart. It is translucent and 2 colors, which is nice. Now, let's get into some articulation, head side to side, up and down. So it is ball jointed. I don't know if it's definitely not double dog bone. I am not going to, that's as far as I'm going to go with it, but I'm pretty sure it'll go to the 90. It's just tight. And you know, here's the thing. I've already gotten stuff loosened up on this. You only get to the 90 here. You got articulation here and in the hand, and the hand can go in and out. I just don't see it worth it. I don't see that it's worth it to go through that much trouble. So I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother. Anyway, his waist, and it's, you know, feels a little loose. He could do a 360, so there's no stopping point. No. So I don't know if that's is it a limit of the time? Back in the day. This is a rubbery, oh wow, it's rubbery cover. And then the legs, not a whole lot. I'm not going to try to flex that. And then this goes to basically the 90. Feet, only front and back, and very little. I'm not going to mess with all that. So like, why even do the articulation if you're not going to stress your figure? Because it is 23 years old, and it really isn't the highest quality figure I've ever handled in my life. But the look is really, really nice. And I think that's what I kind of care about the most. So let's get on to the next one. Getting into Ookla the Mock. Now, as kind of, this is sort of a lightsaber from Star Wars. This is sort of a Chewbacca-ish type of character. In a way. But he's, instead of having a crossbow, he has a bow. So there's, okay, so it's not copied at all. Never mind. A bow is completely different than a crossbow. So yeah, I see that they didn't copy the Wookiee at all. I never mind. Take that back. I will say that I do like that he's got some good paint on his face, and it feels very cartoon-y, cartoon-ish. So that's a good thing for me, in my opinion. I'm a toon guy, so when it comes to like Transformers and stuff, I want it to look like I walked out of the cartoon, and same thing with this here. And with, you know, the animation, the way the animation was back then, it's really hard to pick the cell that you like the most and say this is exactly the cartoon, but this one looks and feels pretty good with all this line work that they did, the paint apps that were on it. I mean, it's pretty good for the time. 2003 was kind of the early day of getting into these 6-inch scale, 1/12 scale action figures. I think I was still 100% invested in 3.75 inch Star Wars and not wanting to get anything in the bigger scales in the stores at all. That's why I probably saw this and passed on it in like a comic shop or something, even though it looked cool. Now, there's a couple of differences in this guy's articulation. So let's get into that. Then we'll get into his accessory here, which is interesting how they decided to go about that. But he has just a static head. There's no head articulation to give cartoon accuracy over articulation. He does have the bicep swivel, which I believe is absent. No bicep swivel over here. But he does have that so that he could do some stuff with the bow. Even though it doesn't really do a whole lot, I mean, he could do some stuff with his bow. And, you know, it's not the most ideal in the world, but that's why they added some articulation to him. But again, very rudimentary articulation. Enough that he's an action figure, not a staction figure, but they're not anything like what happened a couple years before this. The N2 Toys Mad Max figures are statues that have like 3 points of articulation, and so that's kind of weird. We do have his bow here. Now there's a hole in the bow and a tab on the arrow so that it can just be held in place. There's a string tied to it that's elastic E. And then this will clip. There's a hole in his hand, and you will clip the tab into his hole. Now, it could be due to age, but none of this works well. None of how this is set up works well. Trying to get it to hold, trying to get this... I mean, there's just nothing here with this that looks right. I think what looks right is like this. So I usually see people he's just holding it. It's like, no, you might as well give him a laptop and a backpack and go to school. Because, I mean, this really doesn't work very well. I mean, it's something, but one of the things that like I would appreciate would be modern versions of these figures. But at the same time, I did spend way too much money on mine. So, somewhere between 150 and 200 each. So, it's not an easy line to collect in 2026, and I think it's actually getting harder. Next up, we got Princess Ariel, and I don't know if Disney, with The Little Mermaid, ripped it off. Did they rip off Thundarr with the Barbarian with this name? I think they did. They must have ripped it off. Anyway, I've got a lot going on with her. This is how I like displaying her, with everything she's got. Why? Because I don't want to lose anything. But there she is. She looks good. And I don't even want to take it off, but I probably should. How this piece works here is that you take this yellow piece off, and that hand casts the spell, and that's how that works. And so there's that. And then the way this works is you split that and you have the ball. But it's one thing, like her hand is generating the ball. All right, I can't, these little tabs and holes and stuff aren't lining up for me the way I want them to. The other thing that you could do is have her hold this ball, and I would put it in her hands and then lift her hands up together. And here she is holding her energy ball. That's the thing you want to do. That's how you want to do it. That's not how I want to do it. I like it the way I had it, actually, a lot better. Now, she has even less articulation. So her head does move, but it's not, the ball's rolling. But it's not much because of the hair, but it's ball jointed. It is a really nice face sculpt, if I could get the... focus. It's not focusing like it should, but a really nice face sculpt. I like it. And then she's got, I think I got it focused a little better there. And a lot of paint apps. We've got her wristbands, we've got her waistband, we've got some yellow dots on the side down here The yellow boots. I don't think these... Oh, these move. Yes, they do. The wrists move. The hands move. Do they go a little in and out? So you get some bit of articulation, but there's no like bicep swivel in her either. And there she is from behind, so you can enjoy that feature. The from behind feature kind of looks like Wonder Woman a little bit from behind there. Yeah, she's a pretty good looking figure overall. Very, very slender, and does match the show. There are foot pegs. Good. She fell over to say, "Look at my foot pegs." I don't know what I would use them for. I don't know if any stands would work. Here she is in a standard Black Series stand. Also, G.I. Joe Classified would work. So yeah, fits, works fine. And I think that that's all we got for her. So let's get into talking about a couple extra accessories. So I believe these accessories go with Thundarr, and they are open palm for chopping and slapping hands. I don't know why they went with that route, why this felt like something they needed to do. And I'm not going to risk swapping them out. Same thing as giving us fists for Ookla. Ookla fists. Crazy. So I don't want to risk it messing with it, because I mean, I'm definitely not going to try to get another set of these guys. But I guess we need to transition to the next thing I want to talk about is what could the future be with this, because I do want to get an updated, modernized set. Now, here's the thing. If no one else ever makes them for the rest of my life, this is perfectly fine, because they look fine on the shelf. I think that they look good. They have quite a few shortcomings individually, but as a team, they look pretty good. They've done enough good with it in 2003 to make it worthwhile to have the set. And I'm not 100% convinced that anyone that makes them today, other than Super 7, would make them look this cartoony. In fact, I don't think anybody else would make them look this cartoony. I think they would have some real-world grit to them that would be a huge turnoff to me. Like all that real-world grit that they put on the figures and the line work and all that, and their dirty look and dirty wash to them, to me just makes it look like you're playing with your figure in the mud. It's not something I want. I want them to look crisp and clean on the shelf, like the beginning of the episode. You know, it's just how I like it. That's the way I prefer it, and I would prefer, if someone make them, to do that. Now you think, well, what would it cost? Depends on what company made it, but like if Super 7 made them, a minimum of $65 a figure, probably $85 for Ookla, if that was the route. And you know, what if another company got it, like Hasbro? Hasbro doesn't want to make toys. Okay, Mattel's already making a similar type property with He-Man. Why do they want to compete with themselves? Why couldn't they just work it out and it'd be included in another toy line as the 3 figures? Well, there's actually a huge list of characters, and I'm probably just going to throw a few up. But yes, there's a lot of bad guys. There's a lot of bad guys in the toy line that need representation, or at least a few of the top ones, and just go to the wiki and search the most popular, and that's probably the ones that would do the best. That's probably the ones that people would have most interest in plopping their money down on. And so if another company came out and just did these 3 and called it a day, I think it would be a waste of time. I think that another company would need to come out and do enough to make it worthwhile for the fans of the show, and I would support it. I mean, I wouldn't support it at $85 a figure. I'd support them. You know, I would hope that we could at least get them into $35 range or something. Maybe NECA could do them, but then NECA would make them look real world. NECA didn't go very far with their Dungeons and Dragons, so there's a lot of stuff to consider with these going forward. Why are these retro with 2003? Well, it's 23 years old, and there's no other iterations. All right, so what do you guys think about these 3 figures? Do you think we need to get some new ones? Did you already pick these up? Does anyone know how much they cost in 2003 when they put them out? Was it 13, 15 bucks? Were they 25 bucks? Were they cost prohibitive back in the day? I hear they were pretty easy to find for like almost 20 years. Then 2020 hit and they're hard to find. I hear that's what happened. But Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. And did any of this help you out? Was any of this helpful showcasing these figures to you? What do you think of these very limited articulation, but still good looking figures? Like and subscribe. Happy Retro Wednesday. Today, Hanger out.